What is Autobidder? How does it work? And how can it be useful for my business? So let's say a customer lands on your website here. They see a button that says get an instant price quote. Now, maybe by this point, they've already been on a few other pressure washing websites or whatever industry you're in, and they've already gone through and maybe they even filled out a few forms and they're waiting for the companies to call back. Now, the idea is at this stage, the customer has a couple pieces of information they want to know. Can you do the services I need? And how much is it going to cost? So let's go through this process. Let's say the customer is interested in a house wash. And I don't know, let's say they're interested in a deck cleaning and maybe even a driveway cleaning, all right? So the idea is they go through here, and now we've got sales features built in, like a little helpful video here. You don't have to turn that on, but I highly recommend it. Basically, just explain to the customer what information you need. We've also got a few other tools built in for this specific service, the Measure Map tool and the AI Measure tool. But let's say they already know the information, so they don't need to measure it. Let's say we've got a 2-story house. Maybe it's around 1,500 square feet, vinyl siding, and we want a full house wash, okay? Next question, the deck. About how big is the deck? This is where the AI Measure tool or the Measure Map could come in handy again. Some people have no idea, so that's why we include those tools. Let's say it's around 600 square feet, say it's composite, and then let's say it has composite railing, okay? And then we'll say it has 3 stairs. Next question, now we get to the driveway. Again, this is where the Measure tool could come in handy, but let's say, I don't know, it's a 500 square foot area. Let's say it's concrete. We'll get a quote, okay? Now, at this stage, this is where it's the lead generation part. This is a fair exchange of value, and this is why it's a great lead magnet. We are giving the customer accurate pricing information about our business, and in exchange, we are getting accurate contact information so that we can follow up with them, all right? And you can see there in a matter of, 2 minutes, they're able to go through and get their pricing information. They see how much it would be for house wash, how much it would be for the deck cleaning, how much it would be for the driveway cleaning, and then they can see a breakdown with everything included. Now, in this case, we happen to have a bundled discount turned on where they get 10% off if they book multiple services. That's totally optional. We've also got sales tax turned on. You can see the total. If they happen to be in the military, they can get another 10% off. Same with elderly, they can get 10% off. Now, we've also got the option for recommended add-ons. Maybe they're getting the house wash, but their gutters also have a lot of oxidation, and maybe they'd like to get those cleaned, so they have the option to turn that on. So now that they've gotten to this point, let's say they're satisfied. They say, okay, cool. They can do the services I wanted. This is the price. It's within my range. Let's go ahead and book it. And that's the idea here. They go ahead and book. They pick a date that works best for you. Now, ideally, you'd have your calendar set up and connected here so that only your available dates would be available, right? So they can't just pick a date that you're already booked. Let's say they go ahead and they want the 18th at 9 a.m. All right. And there you go. That's the Autobidder process. And that was under 3 minutes, I think. The whole process from getting the quote, making sure that you do the services that they need, and then all the way through to booking. So of course, there's so many different options you can do to set this up, and we have dozens of tutorial videos, all the different discounts and upsells that you can do, and the design editor and the follow-up tools and everything. This was just an overview as to how exactly it can immediately impact your business in a positive way. Give it a try, you won't be disappointed.